JD from Pittsburgh.
That's right. I got a chance to talk to my brother today, man.
Yep,
This
tell
morning
us
we
about
talked
it.
about
Let's give Aaron some love on his retirement. What's your reaction?
Well, I want to give a huge shout out to AD. You know, we typically always talk about when a great player retires, we call him a legend.
Yeah.
Well, today we really can say that a legend has retired today. And when I say legend, I'm not just speaking on the 10 straight Pro Bowls or the 8 first-team All-Pros or the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, right? Because those are all legendary. But when about this legend, how did you become legendary? You look at his career. Let's take you back. He's from Pittsburgh. He goes to the University of Pittsburgh, and he didn't have a lot of scholarships. He goes there, undersized, underrated, goes first round, goes to the St. Louis Rams. Not really a good team, goes first round, balls out there, right? But then he goes to the Los Angeles Rams, brings them a Super Bowl. You look at his past, where he comes from. He goes back to Pittsburgh, the University of Pittsburgh, and he gives these guys, donates $1 million so that the young guys can develop their skills, can be better in their academics, right? Then you look at where he is today, right? And as I look at Aaron Donald as the best player to ever play this game as far as the defense, he's doing things off the field and on the field, and that's why I look at him as legendary. So today we can honestly say that a legend has retired. Congratulations on a nice retirement. Now he's a developer, and I will see you building projects together in Pittsburgh.
We love to hear that.
Said.
Yeah, congrats to Aaron Donald. Obviously, I'm also born and raised in Pittsburgh. I know the area he grew up in very well. It's about 5 minutes from where I grew up, and the University of Pittsburgh as well, and just an incredible talent, somebody that truly influenced the game at his position in a unique way. For him to have the numbers that he has at his position is remarkable, on top of the fact that anytime that you were playing against them, you had to game plan for him. You had to be ready for him. And even though you knew you had to be ready for him, he was still going to give you work every single time. He played an incredibly important role in them winning that Super Bowl. And I'm so happy that he does have that ring as well. A legend with a ring with, you mentioned all the accolades. 7 straight first-team All-Pros. 7 straight first-team All-Pros, 10-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champ, Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. He's just somebody that is obviously walking into the Hall of Fame as soon as he is eligible, but really an incredible career. It's been a pleasure to watch him grow as a player, as a legend on and off the field, as Shady mentions, and it's just a really, really special day. It's been incredible to watch him play.
It surprised me. It really did, because you look and you say, free agency just started. He didn't announce it prior to free agency. Did the Rams know about this? Like, had they known, would they have gone out and tried to sign other people? But Aaron Donald retires is legitimately an argument to say he was the greatest defensive player ever.
No doubt.
Like, to have that, like, to be undersized, to go to college and you're not a 4 or 5-star recruit, you got to pretty much bust your ass to get where you are. You got to work extremely hard to be that. And then he's double and triple teamed all the time. And
Exactly.
just look at the most recent Super Bowl that the Rams won. He's the one that applied pressure to Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase was open for a touchdown that would have won the game for the Bengals. Aaron Donald put a stop to that. And so I've argued with people. He's by far and away the best defensive player that I've seen.
Easy.
And so now if you want, some people say Reggie White, some people may say Lawrence Taylor. But Aaron Donald, if you think about his impact on the game of football, guards weren't even getting paid a lot of money. And then Aaron Donald started terrorizing people in the middle of that offense. Putting pressure up the middle of the field on the quarterback. And so now you see the Zach Martins getting this. You start seeing guards get paid so much money. Aaron Donald did that. Honestly, they could probably owe him a little bit of their money, the commission they was giving their agents, because he's the one that changed the way teams started paying the interior offensive line. And so he's one of the best linemen, best defensive players to ever play. Wish him nothing but the best. The players in the league, specifically the Brock Purdys, the Kyler Murrays, the Geno Smiths, they thank God.
For sure. This is a good day for them. You're absolutely right. And a big part of the reason why, well, obviously his incredible play, but something that's always brought up with Lawrence Taylor being one of the most influential and best defensive players, is getting the left tackle paid. So what you're mentioning about what Aaron Donald and his influence on offensive linemen getting paid is a great point, because that always gets brought up with LT. But James, talk to us a little bit about the impact that Aaron Donald had on the league.
No, I agree with TJ. With my own two eyes, he's the best defensive player that I've ever seen. And I played with some great ones. The Charles Woodson, you know, you had a chance to see J.J. Watt play and a lot of great defenders play. But Aaron Donald was just different. And I don't care how people want to explain it, the dude was just different. I mean, double teams, triple teams, it does not matter. The running back trying to help, he is still creating chaos for these quarterbacks. And I didn't get to watch Lawrence Taylor play. I know people always want to argue Lawrence Taylor. You know, I didn't get to watch Reggie White play, but with my own two eyes, Aaron Donald is the greatest defensive player to lace these cleats up. It just was impressive to watch. And not too many people could do what Aaron Donald did. And I'm not talking about his own stats. Every single person that played on Aaron Donald's defense, whether you was a corner, a linebacker, on the other side of a defensive lineman, he got you paid because of the attention that he got. If you were a defensive lineman, you are getting one-on-one every single time. If you are a corner in Jalen Ramsey, whoever the corners may be, you know the ball coming out in 2 seconds because Aaron Donald is going to be back there. So it changes the way you play. Linebacker-wise, you know, I ain't never going to have no guard getting up to me on this linebacker because they got to deal with 99 in front of them. So I'm going to have 100 and some tackles behind Aaron Donald. He got so many people paid strictly because how dominant he was on the football field. Congratulations. You're running into the Hall of Fame, first ballot. You ain't got to be one of those ones that's shocked. You got to knock on the door. You know what's coming 5 years after he is done. It was impressive to watch.
And the thing with AD is, like, if you see him, I mean, he ain't super big, though, right? Most D tackles, they got the stomachs out, they got the no necks, right? Big cheeks. You like, yo, he must play for somebody. Yeah. You see AD, in the summertime, he got his little cut shirt on. You gonna say, man, bro, work out, right? He might be a little model, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
Nah, that's the beauty of Aaron Donald is that you talk about, like, chip on shoulders. We say chip on shoulders for guys like Baker Mayfield was the first pick in the draft, which is in the Heisman winner, so it's awkward. But a guy like AD, I didn't have no scholarships like that. I went to Pittsburgh, right? And I dominated there. Didn't get a first rounder. I remember him playing against him, and he's with the St. Louis Rams. I was the Eagles, and Pitt guy. So, you know, we always want to look after each other. I'm like, yo, he looked small out there. We couldn't block him, right? Then as you see, as time progresses, you see him gets better and better. Same size, maybe a little more cut, more abs. He was so dominant. I remember a game when I went to Bills and we played the Rams in L.A. We won the game. I had about a 165. You know. Anyway, and the whole game plan, right, for the most part was like, we're going to watch AD, and it wasn't enough. I remember going back to the coach, like, hey, I know we're emphasizing Aaron Donald, but we're not emphasizing enough. Yeah. This dude will wreck the whole game. They didn't listen. The first half, he was getting sacks, tackles for loss. And I'm his boy, so instead of, like, slamming me down, he might just throw me down, right? We get to halftime, you know, and at the time, I could be a little bit more vocal. Hey, coach, I told you we need to do this and that, get Aaron Donald. The second half, everything, we slide to him, we double him, I'm chipping him, and that's how we won the game. But he was that disruptive that you had to do all that. Because if you didn't, right, the guy that's undersized, right, they had no scholarships, he will wreck the whole NFL game, and that's what he did.
And it's crazy, too, because even when we all went this past season to the Raiders practice, I was over there with the Raiders offensive coaches, and I'm like, why I ain't got 99 in there? And they were like, well, we asked them to keep him up out of there because he will wreck his
Listen, bro, if you want to get a sweat in the day, if you want to work out the day, please don't let 99 play.
Up in this thing. So we say, hey, can you really limit to this dude's reps? Give him a kind of a rest day because we're trying to get some type of work.
We're trying to get some work in.
No doubt.
Well, congrats, Aaron. That's going to be an incredible class with Jason Kelsey and Aaron Donald in 5 years, both going in together. So we talked about an all-time great Pitt Panther. Although Kenny Pickett will be remembered for his...
For sure. Kenny Pickett was that guy in Pitt.
Panthers, yeah.
I love him over there.
Yeah, but we're in the pros now, so we're going to talk a little bit about this. But he did go to your Eagles, Shady. So what are your thoughts on the Eagles trading?
Well, first of all, welcome to the Bird Nest. We're happy to have you.
The other side of the state.
And I think that he's a type of player that can develop, super smart, intelligent. He hasn't had the beginning that he would like or I would like, you know, but that happens. You know, I've seen players do that all the time. Geno Smith, I mean, my God, we seen how he played in the beginning, and then look where he is now. So I never write anybody off. And I will say this. being a backup, right, to a good quarterback, to a good team that's ran a certain way of franchise, you can learn something. And we have a lot of smart guys in Philadelphia with the coaching staff, and I think that Kenny Pickett will be a good backup. I was hoping that Justin Fields, right, would be our backup. I think the days of him starting is over. But
hoping for Justin Fields.
I mean, you know, it makes sense, running quarterback style, right? Not starting, not pressure, just backup. But to keep him with Kenny Pickett, I think that he'll be all right. I just think that he has a lot of talent around him, and if anything ever goes wrong with Jalen Hurts, I think Kenny Pickett can do a solid enough job, right, where you don't have to do everything. I think in Pittsburgh, you got to do everything, right, especially on offense. I mean, I think a young wide receiver group that's full of talent but still young and inconsistent. I'm saying they're young guys, right? And I also think about the running backs. Kind of up and down year for Najee Harris. You know, so I think the Eagles will be a lot different.
There's a lot going on here.
Yes.
I do think that this is a better move for the Eagles than Justin Fields, although I do think that Justin Fields would have been a better fit as a backup for Jalen Hurts. I think he would have brought too much noise. It would have made me nervous because there were already some doubts about Jalen Hurts, valid or not. And Justin Fields has a bit of a bigger name than Kenny Pickett, so I think that the pressure.
Yes.
I mean, you know Philadelphia. You know how they get.
I mean, but like he would came to Philadelphia.
Respect.
But I'm saying if he came to Philadelphia, it won't be like he's like our answer. I mean, because we know his resume.
But if Jalen struggles, I'm talking about.
No, I'm saying if Jalen struggle, right? I don't think that everybody in Philadelphia like, yo, we need Justin Fields to play because we've seen his resume. He don't really win. He's not really like.
But what if he does get in there doing that?
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think I can talk about what we've seen. And what we've seen is that he plays bad through the whole year, and at the end of the year, he has some good moments. The next year, bad year, good moments at the end. That's what we always see. Yeah, so I think that at the talent part, he has some talent, but as far as winning and being like a efficient quarterback in this league, we've never seen that yet.
No one's more popular than the backup quarterback, but I do think that Kenny Pickett doesn't bring that kind of pressure.
You're right. And he's quiet.
It's not the same profile. So I do like it as a move for the Eagles for backup quarterback. I say it all the time. Backup quarterbacks are extremely valuable, so I don't even care about the picks. You need to have depth at that position. We see it year in and year out. Teams that don't value that, their seasons completely fall apart. Or we got to give Coach of the Year away because you win with 15 different quarterbacks. So I like that move. I do think it's interesting on Pittsburgh's side of it as well, though, because Russ the starter now. There was a bit of a conversation of, are they going to make Russ earn the starting position, even though we all just assumed that he was going to start. This shows you that they're moving forward, and obviously Russ is on a one-year deal, so either they're going to bring in somebody else to develop, or they feel like Russ could be the long-term solution there. But James, what do you think about this move?
You know what, this says one thing to me. The Pittsburgh Steelers did not think Kenny Pickett is a good quarterback. This dude was a first-round pick, 2 years in being a first-round pick. And obviously 13 touchdown passes, 13 interceptions, and we know that, you know, he missed a lot of throws. He was not the answer at the quarterback spot. That's why all of us up here agree that they need to do whatever they need to do to go get Russell Wilson, because you're not going to be able to compete for a championship. But this shocked me to see him get traded. And after hearing it might be a quarterback controversy, it might be a quarterback competition in camp and all that, to just see them ship him off, to me, it lets me know that they didn't value this dude, you know, like that at the quarterback spot. In Philadelphia, I love it, right? I don't think we get the Aaron Rodgers that we got if he didn't sit behind Brett. I don't think we get the Jordan Love we got if he didn't sit behind Aaron Rodgers. So I'm with some of these young guys that were high draft picks sitting back, watching the good, the bad, seeing these blitzes come at you, being able to pick it up, seeing the quarterback not pick it up, where to go with the football. I think all that stuff is going to benefit him. So I think it's a good fit for him to go sit behind Jalen Hurts and learn and get better. But I don't think Kenny Pickett in this league is a starting quarterback.
Teach?
The Steelers just gave him away. It's either two things. He can't play, or they don't like his attitude. Because when Mason Rudolph was named a starter at the end of the season, it was reports. Kenny Pickett don't want to dress. He's unhappy. And then now with Russell Wilson, I'm sure he's probably told, you're not going to be the starter. And through his agent or whatever, they probably let the Steelers know that they were unhappy. And you make a great point with Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. Kenny Pickett's been playing and starting. Those dudes literally sat and watched. Can he humble himself and say, I'm going to sit behind Jalen Hurts and I'm going to get better?
He has to.
If he can do that, he may have a chance. But when you've been a starter and now you got to sit, you know how hard that is to be a young guy and you've been that guy. And now I got to sit and watch. First mistake that Jalen Hurts made, he's going to be thinking in his head, oh, I'm better than him. And so I'm with you. I think it's over for Kenny Pickett. The Steelers just gave this man away. And he was supposed to be the most NFL-ready quarterback coming out of Pitt. That's what they said. So if you're the most NFL-ready quarterback and this is what you give us?
Well, I mean, I didn't hear that, right?
They didn't say that?
And that draft class at quarterbacks was pretty bad.
I think the
But
first
he
6
started
quarterbacks
so
that were
many
taken in that
games.
draft, they're all on different teams now.
Okay, and another thing is about Kenny Pickett is, I mean, you're saying that I like to sit my quarterback, right, and learn. But it also helps out if you play, right? You always talk about this, when you play, you get the growing pains out early. I get that. I just think that he's so smart of a quarterback, and he has some talent that I think if he has to get another chance at it, right, and learns from some good players around him, and you have some dogs at wide receivers that you've never seen before. Can we talk about that?
It don't matter. He ain't getting in the game throwing to him.
You know,
So it don't matter.
No, that's crazy because anything can happen in this football. Everybody,
Somebody get hurt.
all the time. Knock on wood. So my thing is,
And then they gonna be bad.
but no. But I'm saying seriously. So now you go from having a good offensive line, a really good running game, one of the best talented running backs we've seen in a long time, and Saquon Barkley. Then you look on the wide receivers. Oh my gosh. So I'll just say this: things didn't work out in Pittsburgh. You're right. You going to a better team that's ran way better. We win here. Yeah, I mean, am I saying something crazy?
I mean, I
love the
would say
Steelers.
Philadelphia has ran way better than
I mean, last couple years they have. I mean, what am I missing here?
Okay,
yes, for
We've
sure.
been in 2 Super Bowls in the last couple. I ain't even gonna go there because I love Steelers. I'm gonna say this though: you want a better team, and we run things a lot better over here. We're way more talent over here on offense. And if anything happens to Jalen Hurts,
Offensive line. I'll give you.
We trying real hard to bring our show meeting conversation onto the
I'm
set
saying
today. There's a little disparity on the
it's really
skill
not.
positions.
They trying to be funny.
Opinions about the skill
But to be
positions.
honest, go ahead.
I'm just saying that I think you come into this type of team, right, where you don't have to do everything. And I keep saying that because I feel like in Pittsburgh, they made it as if the weakest person on this offense is a quarterback. But we not gonna act like the wide receivers are just playing so great, like they wasn't dropping balls. When they miscommunication with wide receiver routes. I've seen it all the time. I watch tape on them. The running game. We're not gonna act like Najee Harris, the first rounder, but we had to bench him for a 3rd, 4th rounder, right? That did happen. So the offensive line gave up a lot of sacks too now. So it's easy to blame the quarterback because that's what it is. Yeah. But I think with the Steelers, there was a lot of different things going on. I think you bring Russ in, a veteran guy that's seen it all. It's gonna be easier for him. But if you go to Philadelphia and maybe Jalen Hurts gets banged up a little bit and you gotta start, it's going to be an easier time for you to start on that offense with that team than with the Steelers. And that's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and I get where you're going with that, but when you look at this Pittsburgh team with what he walked into, a top 10 defense, like he has 14 wins, and all 14 of them was the defense.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then when you talk talent-wise, yes, paper and stats and all that, you could say Philadelphia.
What about your eyes?
Hold on. You could say Philadelphia's receivers and weapons is better, but he has guys. You have 2 good running backs, you have 2 really good wide receivers, you have a really good tight end, and you have a big-time defense. And you looked the worst out of all of them. And that's why they said we are going to get Russell Wilson. So I'm not saying he cannot look better in Philadelphia after he sits behind Jalen Hurts for.
I agree.
But he did walk into a really good situation as a quarterback, being a young quarterback.
And all I said is he's going to a better one. That's all I said. He's going to a better one.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.